Emma stares at the checkout screen, the total higher than she expected, again. She used to fill this same cart for half the price. It's not just her. Everyone's noticing prices creep higher every single month. Somewhere between year one and today, her paycheck stayed the same while the price tags didn't. This isn't random. It's a quiet force working against everyone's wallet. It's called inflation, and it's been stealing value from your money for decades. Most people feel it, but almost no one can explain exactly how it works. Today, we're going to make the invisible visible, one grocery basket at a time. Because once you see how inflation really works, you'll never look at a receipt the same way again. Let's start with something every single person understands: a simple basket of groceries. Meet Emma, an ordinary young professional trying to make sense of her shrinking grocery budget. Every Sunday, she buys the same list: bread, milk, eggs, coffee, and a few fresh vegetables. Last year, this basket cost her $40. This year, the exact same basket costs $46. Nothing in the basket changed, only the price did. That $6 gap has a name: inflation. Inflation simply means prices rising over time across almost everything you buy. But the real danger isn't the price going up, it's what that price rise does to your money's power. Economists call this purchasing power, how much your dollar can actually buy. When prices rise faster than your income, your purchasing power quietly shrinks. Imagine your paycheck as a bucket of water and inflation as a slow, invisible leak. You still have the same size bucket, but less water actually reaches you. That's why you can earn the same salary for years and still feel poorer. It's not in your head. It's basic math working against you silently every day. And the best way to see it clearly is to follow one basket of groceries through time. Picture a small American grocery store in 1970. Emma's grandmother pushing a cart down the aisle. A loaf of bread costs about 25 cents. A gallon of milk around $1. Gas for the car sits at roughly 36 cents a gallon. The average monthly rent for a small apartment is about $108. It feels almost impossible to imagine now, but for that generation, it was just an ordinary Tuesday. Fast forward to 1980, the same basket now costs noticeably more. Bread has doubled, gas has tripled, and something new is happening: wages aren't keeping up. This decade introduces a word people will hear again and again: inflation crisis. Oil shortages and rising costs push prices up faster than paychecks can follow. By 1990, the basket keeps climbing. Bread near 75 cents, milk over $2. Rent has crossed $600 a month in many cities. Slowly, quietly, the dollar in your pocket buys less than it used to. By 2000, that same grocery basket costs almost double what it did in 1980. A new car that once cost under $4,000 now costs over $20,000. College tuition, once a few $100s a year, now stretches into the thousands. By 2010, the world has changed. Smartphones, streaming, and a financial crisis behind us. Gas prices swing wildly, sometimes crossing $3 a gallon. The same grocery basket that cost 40 cents in 1970 now costs over $4. And still, many paychecks look almost the same as they did a decade earlier. By 2020, a global pandemic disrupts supply chains across the entire planet. Factories slow down, shipping costs explode, and shelves sometimes sit empty. When the world reopens, prices don't just recover, they surge. By 2022, inflation hits levels not seen in over 40 years. Eggs, bread, and gas prices jump within months, not years. Emma's own grocery basket, the one she's tracked all along, tells the whole story in one glance. In 1970, It cost under $2. Today, that same basket costs over $20. Meanwhile, average wages haven't grown anywhere near that same pace. This is the visual proof of something economists call the erosion of purchasing power. It's not that people are earning less money, it's that money itself is worth less. Imagine holding a $100 bill in 1970 versus holding one today. That same $100 from 1970 would need to be over $800 today just to buy the same things. That's the quiet math of inflation, compounding year after year, decade after decade. And it doesn't announce itself with a headline. It just shows up, slowly, in your monthly budget. Emma didn't lose her money in one dramatic moment. It was drained a few cents at a time. That's exactly why inflation feels invisible, even while it's reshaping your entire financial life. Let's bring this back to today and to real choices people make every single week. Emma used to grab a coffee on her way to work without even checking the price. Now she pauses at the counter, doing quiet math in her head before deciding. Her rent has increased 3 times in the last 4 years alone. Her salary, meanwhile, increased just once and barely covered the difference. She used to save $200 a month without any effort. Now that same effort barely saves her $50. It's not that she's spending recklessly. The ground beneath her budget has simply shifted. Healthcare costs, another quiet climber, take a bigger bite from her paycheck every year. Even her gym membership, unchanged in service, now costs 20% more than it did 3 years ago. Emma isn't imagining this squeeze. Millions of people are living the exact same story. Renters watch their monthly payments climb faster than their income. Parents watch grocery bills swallow a bigger share of the family budget every month. Young graduates watch entry-level salaries fail to match the true cost of independent living. Retirees watch their fixed pensions buy noticeably less every single year. Inflation doesn't discriminate. It quietly touches nearly every corner of daily life. Even something as simple as a birthday cake now costs more than it did just a few years ago. A basic haircut, a used car, a streaming subscription, all quietly creeping upward. Multiply these tiny increases across an entire lifetime, and the numbers become staggering. This is why inflation is often called a silent tax. Nobody votes for it, yet everyone pays it. So why does this keep happening year after year, decade after decade? One major cause is simple: more money circulating in the economy than there are goods to buy. When governments print or inject large amounts of money, each existing dollar becomes worth slightly less. Another cause is supply and demand. When demand rises but supply can't keep up, prices climb. The pandemic showed this clearly when factories closed but people still wanted to buy things. Rising costs for businesses, labor, materials, shipping, also get passed along to customers. Even global events like wars or energy shortages can ripple straight into your local grocery store. Central banks try to manage this by raising or lowering interest rates. Higher interest rates make borrowing more expensive, which can slow spending and cool prices down. But this balancing act is delicate. Move too slowly, and inflation runs wild. Move too quickly, and it can slow the entire economy, even trigger a recession. There's no perfect switch to simply turn inflation off overnight. It's a constant push and pull between money, goods, people, and policy. And while economists debate the exact causes, everyday people just feel the results at checkout. Understanding this doesn't make inflation disappear, but it does make it far less frightening. So what can someone like Emma actually do about all of this? The first step is simply awareness. Tracking where your money actually goes each month. Emma started writing down her grocery basket cost every single month, just like we did in this video. That simple habit revealed patterns she never noticed before. Next, she looked at her savings, sitting in an account that barely earned any interest. Cash sitting still slowly loses value every year inflation rises. Many people choose to invest a portion of their savings, aiming for growth that can outpace inflation. This isn't financial advice. It's simply how many people try to protect their money's future value. Others focus on growing their income, learning new skills, or negotiating better pay. A little financial education goes a long way when prices keep shifting beneath your feet. Emma didn't solve inflation, nobody can, but she stopped feeling powerless against it. She started making informed choices instead of surprised ones. And that shift from confusion to clarity changed how she felt about her entire financial life. Inflation will likely never fully disappear. It's simply part of how modern economies function. But understanding it means you're no longer caught off guard by it. The next time you're standing at checkout, watching that total climb, you'll know exactly why. It's not bad luck, and it's not just you. It's an economic force playing out in real time. The real power comes from understanding it, preparing for it, and adjusting before it catches you off guard. Emma still loves her Sunday grocery trips, but now she shops with clarity instead of anxiety. If this video helped that invisible concept finally make sense, you now see the world a little differently. Understanding money is the first step toward truly protecting it. If you want more videos that turn confusing money topics into simple, visual stories, make sure to subscribe. Because the more you understand your money, the harder it becomes for anything to quietly steal it.